Hello and welcome to the BA Knowledge Share. This is a little bit of a different episode in that we'll go over CBAP, CCBA, and ECBA and what those differences are for those three specific exams, as well as a little more detail into what and how these exams are structured. So without further ado, let's get started. So for those that are preparing to study for either the CBAP, CCBA, or ECBA exams, just a little bit of background information. These exams are basically conducted by the IIBA, which is the International Institute for Business Analysis. It's a very reputable exam in terms of business analysts and those that are interested in pursuing a field in this business analysis area. And it is one of those exams that is not easy to prepare for and it's a little bit hard, but it gives you the solid foundations that are needed in order to prove to an employer that you have the necessary skills needed to do the business analysis work. Now, keep in mind that business analysis itself is a skill set. In terms of job descriptions and job profiles, anyone from like a process analyst to a product owner has to have those skills in order to process or do their work. So let's dive a little bit into what a CBAP is. The CBAP is recommended for mid-level BA professionals. The work experience requirement is 7,500 hours, which can translate to roughly 5 years of work experience. Now, keep in mind that you may play dual roles as a project manager or as a BA, but as long as you're following specific skill sets for business analysis, and as long as you've done that for have 7,500 hours under your belt for those skills, you should be good. CBAP requires 35 hours of professional development units. Now you can take those as part of specific, classes that are offered. And actually IIB's website has a good list of organizations or institutes that do offer those PDUs. Case-based questions are newly introduced in CBAP. So basically this exam is structured in a way where they test you based on specific cases and they'll list 4 to 6 questions around those cases. There are 120 questions in the CBAP exam. The exam is about 3 hours long, so keep that in mind. Off of the 120 questions in CBAP, around 40 to 50 questions are likely to be case-based, and the rest 70 to 80 questions are likely to be scenario-based. CBAP exam focuses on requirements analysis and design definition, which is 30%, strategy analysis, which is at 15%, requirements lifecycle management is 15%, solution evaluation and business analysis planning and monitoring is 14%, and elicitation and collaboration is at 12%. So something to think about is where do you want to spend your time studying? And I would say focus on first requirements analysis and design definition, because that's where you would have most of your bulk questions from. However, something to keep in mind that the studying pattern and all the chapters within the BABOK guide are all stitched together. So just understanding the first piece of it may not just be useful, it's important to understand the remaining of the pieces. So what should you expect during the exam? So as mentioned earlier, the questions are a mix of case and scenario-based questions. There could be a few mathematical questions in terms of NPVs or things of that sort. There'll be 4 to 5 questions on a single case, and scenarios are short cases. How do you apply for the CBAP exam? There's a couple of steps here, but I would highly recommend just kind of reviewing the IIBA's website to get a sense of what's needed in order to apply. It's a little bit of a process, but it's not that difficult once you understand the steps. So read the CBAP handbook. The link is on the IIBA's website. If you just do a search for CBAP handbook, you should see it. Begin documenting your work experience, meaning this is the most challenging task that I think a lot of BAs face, in that maybe BAs have worked in as consulting, in the consulting capacity in different companies. So then it becomes a little bit difficult to say, okay, historically, what have I worked on? What are some of the tasks that I've performed? So it takes a little bit of time kind of documenting that. If you are one of those BAs that has just worked on one initiative for 5 years continuously, thumbs up. That's awesome. You don't have a lot of work here. Align the tasks you've performed in your previous experience with the tasks defined in the Business Analysis Book of Knowledge, which is the BABOK. They really want to see if you've actually performed those tasks as part of your role in the past X number of years. So keep that in mind. You want to understand the deliverables produced in each task, matching them against those you've produced. Determine the total number of hours you've worked on in each project. Determine the total number of hours you've performed business analysis work on that project. Determine eligibility. Develop a mechanism for allocating the percent of total number of hours worked on the project, the specific business analysis tasks. Determine eligibility. Input the information on their online application form and submit your application. There's a little bit more in the application. They do ask for contact of folks that you've worked with, maybe your manager's names. They also do ask for PDUs and sort of like evidence saying you've completed 35 PDUs. So there's a lot of like dependencies in order to even complete the application. The application fee for CBAP is at $125 US, and it's not refundable regardless of whether your application is approved or declined. The exam fee is separate, which is at $325 US for IBA members and $450 for non-members. Let's get a little bit into CCBA. What is CCBA? CCBA is a certification of capability in business analysis. Now, this is for those that are mid-level BA professionals. The work experience is 3,750 hours, which roughly translates to about 2.5 years of work experience if you've been a pure BA. However, when I say pure BA, meaning perform those BA skills, or you could end up being 5 years of work experience if you've kind of worked in dual roles. In this case, the percentages are a little different than the CBAP, in that you have 32% in requirements analysis, design, definition. Strategy analysis, BA planning, monitoring is 12%. Requirements lifecycle management is at 18%. Elicitation and collaboration is at 20%, and solution evaluation is at 6%. It's a 3-hour long exam, 130 multiple choice questions. Questions are scenario-based versus in the CBAP, if you remember, it was case and scenario-based. It is competency-based and aligned with the BABOK version 3 guide. Now, ECBA is for those individuals entering the BA profession, students enrolled in BA academic programs. It could be for new graduates, professionals transitioning careers, functional managers who are not BAs but manage them. The eligibility criteria for ECBA certification exams are as follows. So you would have had prior BA related work is not required. Professional development, meaning 21 hours of verifiable BABOK coursework in the last 4 years. As I mentioned, there is a list of organizations that do offer PDUs. So you may want to kind of spend a little bit of time on the IAB's website. References are not required, unlike CCBA and CBAP. Prior knowledge area expertise is not required. And you need to sign a code of conduct, which is required. ECBA's exam structure is a lot lighter than the CCBA and CBAP exams. You have a 1-hour remote online proctored exam. There are 50 questions. In order to clear the ECBA certification exam, IABA checks for success in each knowledge area and overall. It is competency-based and aligned with version 3. There is no negative marking, and perspectives are not part of the exam. So perspectives are basically things, which is chapter 11 of the BABOK guide, which basically covers things like, okay, what is business analysis from the perspective of business architecture, from business process management. So that is a huge burden off of your shoulders in terms of studying for the exam. Now, in terms of the percentage distributions, the BA analysis and BA professionals at 2.5%, underlying competencies is at 5%, BA key concepts is at 5%. So and techniques is 17.5%. So 30% of the exam is basically covered through these four categories. ECBA exam also covers other categories like BA planning and monitoring, which is 5%. Elicitation and collaboration is 20%, and requirements lifecycle management is at 20%. So it's equal weightage here. And then your strategy analysis, it says 0%, so really there's nothing there. Solution evals is 0%. And requirements analysis and design is bulk of it, which is at 25%. So keep that in mind while you prepare for the ECBA exam. So I hope this information helped you. If you do find value in these episodes, please do consider subscribing to this channel, as well as visiting our website at baknowledgeshare.com. Also, feel free to join our Facebook group page, which is link has been provided below. So that being said, until next time, see you then, and take care.